Okay, so I have connected the battery to the circuit, and now it's running my motor, and you can see the motor actually is running at a pulse width modulator signal, so it's changing its speed, and I don't know if you can make out, but and now if I want to change the actual speed of the motor, I'm gonna press this button here, which is running using my code. That's how I wrote my code. So now it's actually running slower than it should, and it's gonna go back to normal again. So I'm also changing these LEDs to show that the button is being pressed. So if you see now, the LEDs have turned blue versus like a blinking LEDs. Now it's changing to blue, and the speed is changing. It's changed now. If I release it, it's going back to the normal speed. If I change it now, it's running at a slower speed, or more frequently the pulse is modulating. And now if I press the other button right here next to it, these LEDs are going to turn red, and now there is a different wave that I'm providing, pulse volume, the PWM signal I'm providing to this motor. And if I release it, it's gonna go back to this normal cycle. If I press it, it's gonna go back to the so this code was pretty easy, and I'm gonna share that. But if you see in my code, I have this if condition saying if this DIO18 is pressed, then first of all change the time interval that it keeps on repeating this code to 10 milliseconds from 100 milliseconds. And so that's why you see that if I press this button, the motor is running quickly or more frequently. And if I go back to the other button, if I press it, then I'm changing the LEDs to red versus blue in here. And then I'm also changing the pulse to a maximum of 10 versus a 0.5, which is 50% when it's not being pressed. So that's why you see the difference. And I'm changing the color of the foreground of the actual app. So if you see the app, when I'm pressing these buttons, you will notice something like on the screen. If I show you, I'm gonna zoom in a little bit, and you're gonna see these things appear. So if I press this, it says that this DIO22 is pressed, and the fan is moving faster, or the motor is running faster. And if I press the other button, then it says DIO18 pressed, and it's running at low power. So therefore I'm changing the pulse being sent to this motor via this circuit. Hopefully this is useful for people who are trying to learn more about the Raspberry Pi, running an .NET app on a Raspberry Pi 3, and hopefully it is helpful for all the people. Thank you. Bye.